For the second week in a row, you're in front in an away game. You seem to be in control of the situation, and then in a space of no time, the game just goes away from you. I know you'll be delighted to get something, but how much of a problem is that you've done the same thing again?
We have a lot of problems. We are just in the beginning. I know that sometimes the results show to people that we are improving, but we have a lot to do. You can divide the game in the final 10 minutes. Also, when we have to take out Harry Maguire, Casemiro at the same time, then suffer 2 goals, then losing Ben, even before the second goal with a big opportunity. To play with 10 minutes, but then to overcome everything and to manage to score is a good thing. But if you look at the rest of the game, we were comfortable in the game, but I think we should do better, be more aggressive, feeling the environment in the stadium, that the 3 points were there, the space was there, and I think we felt too comfortable during the game, and we need to expect that in one play anything can happen and change the mood of the stadium, and today was that. So I think we control well the game, but we need to do better because the game was there to take.
Matthijs has been present for you this season. What do you make of his goal at the end and the way that he performed in the game entirely? And also, sort of small point, but he's not in the leadership group. I just wondered if there a particular reason for that?
No, it's we choose. Sometimes there are players that lead in the way they play, and then there are players that has a different involvement in everything that happen in Carrington. So I just trying to put different styles on the leadership group. But in the end, everyone has to be leader and to help each other. I think he's doing really well. He's really aggressive. He's defending well. I think he has more quality with the ball that is showing, because he's still in one point that he doesn't want to make mistakes with the ball, and he's doing that really well, because that is a smart thing for a player to do. But when we reach a point, a very good point, our 3 centre backs, they will control the tempo and the quality of the game, and we have, like I said, we have a lot to do in a lot of things in our team. We have to check. He had something in his knee. Let's see.
Ruben, ahead of the Forest game, you spoke to the players about the possibility of going second, and that they didn't take. Again, today was the opportunity to go second. Do you think that there's a mental challenge for them in these situations to be at the top of the table?
I think today was different. I think we had a different energy. What I felt is I felt more control from the team today than against Nottingham. If you want to compare both games, I think against Nottingham the energy wasn't there. Today we dropped a little bit in the second half because we were comfortable during the game. It was not about the second place. Today was one play, and then everything that happened even before the first goal. Harry Maguire, Casemiro at the same time, a lot of problems, a lot of changes that can do something. But I think was, again, one cross, one big opportunity from the opponent, they score, and then everything was really, really hard to cope. We cope with everything and we managed to score.
I know the immediate concern with Benjamin will be his injury, but he had 2 pretty good opportunities out there. Do you feel as though he's got a lack of confidence at the moment?
No, I think that is not the biggest concern now. That happened in the same way that he was not scoring, and then he scored in 2 goals in the next 2 games. So that happened, especially with a striker. I'm more concerned with an injury because he's in the knee, and I don't know. And we need Ben to be a better team.
Hi, Ruben. Mbumo, Ahmad and Mizrahi go away next month to African Nations. And we know that you struggle when Casemiro is off the pitch in terms of holding the game together. So do you think you need to add to the squad in January, because you seem to be very kind of limited to a small group of players that you rely upon right now?
We have to check everything. We have to check what's happened with Ben. So, of course, we are going to have a problem there, but we already knew. Then you can prepare that in the summer, but then you have a lot of players that are not going to play because it's 1 game per week. So the manage of that situation is going to be hard. But let's see when the window is open if we can improve the team and trying to repair something that happened. Until then, we have to take the chance.
You'd like to.
We'll see.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Mixed emotions after that. Obviously, the team did so well to kind of come back into it and think they were going to win it, and then to lose at or draw at the death.
Yeah, of course. Of course, the emotions inside me are high, of course. But I take the positive out of this game. That's what I believe. How I believe in. We build a good team and keep adding layers to it. I think overall a fine / good performance against a good Man United team that's definitely in flow. And we're talking a bit about our how can you say level of defensive attacking threats, and to play against a Man United team that play with confidence with Cunha and Amat and Burmo and Sesko coming on, and we kept them down to 5 shots. That's just another example on the other way around. It's not that easy just to create in the Premier League, even that they had all their big boys out there. That said, our second half, our respond, I was extremely happy with. We're playing home. Of course, we all want to win, and you know, don't talk too much about home form and all that. And I know we need to win before we don't talk about it. But the way we turn around to stay in the game, kept doing the right thing throughout second half. Very, very happy with that, and also so close to win it. And on any other day, we win it.
There was a reaction, obviously, to one of your subs from the crowd, but it felt like your changes on the day worked.
Yeah, sometimes you're lucky. But of course, I would say that every single time I take a decision to sub a player, it's with one aim, to make the team winning or getting back in the team, back in the game, or try to see the game out or whatever. It's only with one aim, try to win the game. And no doubt, Matty did well. Great goal, great involvement. And in general, I think actually Xavi played a fine game, a positive, but also you need a little bit of freshness.
Did you hear the boos when you were making the substitutions?
I'd just say every single time I make a decision, there's one aim, that is to make the team better.
What did you specifically from Matthias? Like, was it the movement up front that you just wanted to change?
Score goal.
Hi, Thomas. So much of this fixture from a Spurs perspective is centred on the Europa League final, 4 straight wins against United. Was that something you could feel in the last few days? Did that affect your preparation? And can you see United's improvement since those games?
I think I saw this game as one game ahead of us. I would love to do everything we could to try to win it. That was the aim of the game. I think I spoke before the game about it's clearly that they have improved this season. They look, how can you say, more in sync together, but also that I think especially in going forward, they look like a big threat. That's why I actually think, I know we conceded 2 goals, but you know, if you concede 5 shots in a game, probably if you said that before the game to me, you'd probably said, yeah, take that. So we're all happy.
Were you expecting Brian to start on the left today?
Yeah, I think, you know, we've seen it's not the first time that Ruben have, how can I say, played around with the front 3 position. I think no matter where Brian plays, I think he's a threat, which he showed again today.
Thomas, most managers will say that they've got to work on their team, there's things to improve, but Is that game kind of evidence of that, really? Because you're talking about your defence doing well, but then it didn't do so well, maybe clearing the ball for the first goal, and maybe you didn't look as much of a threat as you wanted your team to until the last 15, 20 minutes?
So please ask the question again.
So your defence, you said your defence played well,
Yeah.
but didn't do particularly well for the first goal. It seemed to struggle to get the ball away, and then you weren't as much of a threat with your offensive players as you might have been until the end of the game.
Yeah. Okay, I don't think I used that they played well, the defence. I think I said if you concede 5 shots, then before the game, you probably would have taken that. That's not the same at the 2 shots they had, maybe even on target. Was 2 situations we probably could have done better in. And we will, of course, look through that and go through the details. So that's, of course, a fair point. Then we play a game against a team where both teams try to cancel each other a little bit out. We always want to create a little bit more, but you can then flip that and say, hey, we scored 2 goals in a situation where it's difficult to create.
Hi, Thomas. You started with a sort of certain make-up up front today, made changes at half-time, then more changes with sort of 20 minutes to go, which obviously worked brilliantly. But are you still sort of really trying to find the right combinations in attack? Is that, and what are you looking for? What's the team kind of not doing that you're looking for to get them to do?
The team not doing in general,
attack,
or
I mean, just finding the right combinations. It feels like you're still sort of searching for the right blend.
Well, I think that's fair. We are searching to find the right balance up front, and I think when we look the game back, I think there was positive bits going forward also from the game. I think we created what we want. One of the biggest chances with Charlton from across from Brennan after 5-10 minutes. And sometimes the small things he scores on that instead of Brian, it changed a little bit and opened up the game a tiny bit more. But we constantly work on the relationship and try to improve it with the players and try to find what is exactly the right blend. But I think there was small steps in the right direction. He actually struggled a little bit, but nothing big.
Hi, Thomas. Just on from that, another injury update. Christian Romero came off with a couple of minutes left.
Yeah, just done physically. He just came back from that injury. He's fine.
So he'll be okay for international break?
Yeah.
How much of a blow was it having him come off, given the manner of the goal he conceded in the 96th minute? I mean, he's obviously a big threat at set pieces, both defensively.
But I think his position, he wouldn't have been near the goal anyway. So it's a cross on the side, and then he would have been in the middle zone. So this was back post, so that wouldn't affect anything.
Hi, Thomas. Can you talk about Will Snowderberg's performance today? Because he was really, really good and sort of followed up on Tuesday's performance. And also, sort of, why didn't you feel it was right to start him today as well?
I think, we try to work around how we can say what is the best way to attack the opponent in front of us. Try, and on the same time still how can I say, keep a little bit of flow. But I think we wanted to strike us, so we played to the left. Richard but came more in for the crosses, which we think was an area where we potentially could hit Man United. I think it worked perfectly with the first one, where Richie get a big chance. So that could have been an unbelievable, fantastic game plan from us. So that was part of it, and we need different personalities and types for different games.
And just on Wilson.
And Wilson. Yeah, sorry. I think again he's positive. I think he's stepping forward or stepping up. Sorry, and doing things that looks right.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Do you want to kick us off?
Michael, your team put themselves in such a good position, so how disappointed are you with that goal at the end?
Yeah, obviously the last feeling, it's disappointment and frustration, because we wanted the 3 points, and we have to navigate through a really tough tough game. We knew that, very disruptive. We have to deal with situations, obviously, that is it's difficult to deal with. They do it really well. We concede a goal that is not in our standards, but after that, I think the team reacted really well, showed a lot of personality and courage. Scored the first goal, scored the second goal. We have totally dominated the game, and then you have to rely on defending the box when they start to commit 6-7 players there, and it can be from a direct play, it can be from a throw-in, it can be from any situation. We can defend the action better, and today we haven't done it. We concede the goal, and then in the last minutes we have another massive chance with Ricky and Mikel to win it, which I think we deserve to do, but it didn't happen. But I think it shows what we've done in the last 10 games, winning them in the manner that we've done it, with clean sheets, missing 7 players in the front line. So it shows you how difficult it is.
Were you a bit annoyed with the players at half time after the first half? Because there was obviously an improvement in the second half.
It's not annoying. We have to adjust certain things, and at the end, you have to create the opposition as well. They are here and beating for a reason, and they do what they do really, really well, and they make it very difficult for you. And you have to be very patient. You have to dominate certain things in order to earn the right to dominate the game in the manner that you want. And we've done much better in the second half.
Anyone else?
Sorry, no, go on. What are your emotions in that 94th minute, Mikel?
What's that?
What are your emotions when that equalising goal goes in?
Again, unsatisfied because I want to win, and the game was almost there. But this is the Premier League, and the manner that they play, they're going to hang you in there when it's just 1 goal difference there, and frustrated because it's an action that we can defend better. But as well, you have to be creative to the opposition, to do what they've done, to put the ball there, to head the ball the way they've done it, and then the striker to do that action and to put the ball in the net. And sometimes you have to do that and recognise that as well.
I was just going to say, you're the first kind of real big team who have been to Sunderland this season. On this evidence, no one's going to have a particularly comfortable night here, are they? All the other kind of title challengers who come here, you would imagine, are going to get examined.
It is, and we knew that from the beginning. But that's the Premier League. You don't get to any place in the Premier League when you think it's going to have a comfortable afternoon, evening, how you want to call it. And again, it's not a coincidence what they are doing, and they deserve to be where they are, and we do as well.
Your clean sheet record, has been extraordinary. Do you think that the players like sort of almost have hurt them a little bit and give them sort of some fuel to maybe carry on again and just defend so brilliantly?
Yeah, of course it hurts, especially when it costs you points, and we know that we have to do better. And even though we're conceding goals, there are things that we have to improve and evolve. I always mention that, and that's it. Learn from the past and get better.
Did you feel differently whenever Ballard scored that the clean sheet record had gone?
Sorry?
How did it feel when the clean sheet record went when Ballard scored?
It's a pain in my tummy because I don't want to concede any goals, and it was a goal obviously that it was putting the game in a difficult position.
Thank you, everybody.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Regis, it's amazing how this till the end just keeps happening, keeps coming through.
Yes, it shows that the team has a really strong character, the faith that we can change the dynamic of a game with just one decision, good connection with our crowd, and it happened once again.
There was a period in the second half where it felt like Arsenal were quite dominant and playing really well, but overall, do you think you were good value for the point?
Yeah, it's still tough against a team like Arsenal, one of the best teams in Europe. So you have to do a masterclass. Otherwise, it's impossible to win something. I think the first half was well balanced. We tried to defend high when it was possible, and organize a deep block, really compact, narrow, aggressive, and we had the opportunity to manage the ball sometimes, and we even felt that it was possible to disturb them in that part. The second half was a bit tougher because you defend for long periods and then you have to stay composed with the ball, and we still have a really young squad, really young players without a great experience in the Premier League, so it's a good lesson.
You've been talking for a few weeks about Ryan and how difficult it is for a player to come in later in the window when they missed pre-season. He's clearly been looking sharper in the last couple of weeks, including the 21s. Did you feel like that moment was coming forward?
Yeah, we felt that he improved a lot. He needed time to change from another club to a new club, a new league, new teammates. So he worked hard, and I think he deserves this reward.
And it was telling that Hume and Ballard were involved in that goal. They're two of the players from last season. Despite all the transfers and new players coming in, they're performing really strongly for you, especially tonight.
Yeah, they are really important. They are good players, first of all, and they have this mentality, this character, which makes the link between the past and the future, and they are really important for that.
Just last thing, mate, on Brian, is it the perfect situation at the moment that you've got Wilson, who defends from the front, the other he puts in, and then you've got Brian and Eliza who can come off the bench?
Yeah, our 4 subs were really important because we are this league and probably our game model are really demanding for our forwards. Don't just have to stay wide waiting for the next pass. You have to work hard with the squad. Otherwise, we can't defend against a strong squad like Arsenal. So they worked well for 60 minutes. Then 4 players came on the pitch, and those finishers help to maintain the energy, the quality of the organization, and they have different profiles. So when you start against Wilson, for example, you know that it will be a threat in behind, even if now he has the ability to hold the ball. With Brian, you'll have another profile, totally different, and he's a good scorer as well.
I know you've said, Regis, that it was a bit of an unknown. You didn't really know how any of the players would take this season, but there are some of the players from last season who haven't played an awful lot of football, and yet Trey and Dan, you pretty much trusted right from the start. I mean, did you always feel that those two in particular could take that step?
Only Granit we knew before, but experience in the Premier League is okay. For the others, we have to find out, and step by step. And I'm always confident because I know how they work, how they behave, how they are connected with the squad. Their knowledge about tactics and the game model is really high. So I'm pretty confident, and I'm not really surprised.
And Phil talked about the till the end stuff, and we talked about at the end of last season. It's easy to have a phrase like that actually deep down doesn't mean an awful lot. But it feels like with the players in this squad, they do believe that no matter what the scenario is in a game, because they've done it so often now, it can happen for them right at the end.
Yeah, I think we were just on the edge when after the 2-1, and Arsenal were dominant, and they were able to keep the ball. But with the energy of the stadium, I think the characteristic of our players and the background we have now, I think it's really positive for this phase and this belief that we can change the dynamic.
And then that 20 minutes or so that you talk about Arsenal, getting on top there, is that the toughest 20 minutes you think your team have had this season? And if so, how proud are you for the fact that they worked their way through it on the pitch?
Yeah, a squad like that has the ability to stay composed on the ball, to get high up the pitch, and then they counter-press really aggressively with good organization, and it's so hard to escape this pressure. So after that, you try to go long. If you don't win the first contact, you go again, and you can't breathe, and it was really tough. And but something changed. Sometimes you don't know what exactly, with energy, with just one decision. And happy for our players.
Could I ask you about Ballard in terms of, obviously he scored a goal, set up a goal, saved the goal at the end, and he's an ex-Arsenal player. Obviously, did you see what it really meant to him today?
Yeah, probably it was important for him. It was really important for Granit, but they didn't get too emotional. Sometimes it's possible. They were just really composed, so they showed their quality, and was really important for the squad. Yeah,
What can it do for his belief in a game like this to have such an influence at both ends, to do that in the Premier League against Arsenal?
He's tall, he's big, he's aggressive, and he has good quality. I think he's talented as a defender. I hope he'll continue to grow like that.
If there was an incident to characterise your team, would you say it was the block at the end from Ballard where he throws himself in front of it?
Yeah. I was surprised when I started here about their attitudes to defend the goal. And here in Sunderland, we have many players who will give their life to keep a clean sheet or to stop a shot. And it's a question of mentality, it's a question of technique as well. And for example, Trey, Ballard, Luke are really good for that.
And you said, sorry, you mentioned the word masterclass just before. Would you say this is your best performance, even though it was only a point, is this the best performance since you've come back up?
I think from a mentality perspective, it's probably one of the best, even if we did well before. After that, we have room for improvement everywhere, I think. So it's good for us because we know that we are really young in this league, and we are learning from every lesson. And it was one more interesting step today.
Bridges, yesterday I asked you about how important character could be in a game like this, and bridging on what you've just said about players giving their all for this club, was that a demonstration of just how strong their character is?
Yeah, I think so. They are really well connected. I think we were a bit on the edge, but it's the life in the Premier League, I think. But we found a way to change the dynamic, and yeah, it's positive this way.
Regis, it's a really good point, but obviously as well still unbeaten at home in the league this season. Just how much of a fortress is the Stadium of Light? Because it seems every single game, suddenly the feeling system of bravery gets more and more from the players who are playing at home.
Yeah, I think the energy of our stands, our fans, is really important. We can feel it. I spoke about this topic before. When you are on the pitch, just one tackle, one decision, one counter press, you go in behind and you try to change the dynamic. When you feel the crowd, it's so noisy that I think it helps a lot, and I hope it will be the case later again.
Speaking of home comforts, the advertising hoardings seem to be a little closer to the pitch today than usual.
Are you sure?
Seem to be, yeah. Fair bit. Do you know anything about that?
Must have been the wind.
No. Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Just a quick one, obviously. People might look at that setup that you've gone with tonight, 5 at the back, 4 midfield. But when you actually watch the game, you've got your 2 centre-halves at one point, Dan Ballard's playing in midfield, tracking them on a Can you just talk a little bit about that decision to go man for man in that sort of situation?
Yeah, it's probably now in football, in the modern football, you don't have only one structure. I think it's really important to use a 5-4-1 in a deep block. And today, because Arsenal have so much quality that you have to think a bit. In the mid block, we tried sometimes to go in 4-4-2, and higher up the pitch, we had the willingness to go man for man and try to press high. So 3 different structures, and after that, I think the opponent can dictate the structure you will use the more, and it was probably the 5-4-1 was in the deep block was very important today.
Was Ballard injured whenever you first came in? Because he wasn't in your first few teams.
Yeah.
And also then, can you talk about his development over the past?
Yeah, last season he had an injury early in the season, so he struggled to find the good rhythm. And if you miss the pre-season, I think physically it's still difficult to find the good connection with your own performance, the squad, and so on. He showed at the end of the season that he was a really good defender. So it was mainly a question of form and consistency. And I think now he tries on his way, but with the coaching staff, with all the staff we have around the player, we try to find the right balance because it's a specific profile. You can't train Ballard like you train a midfielder or someone like that. So I hope it will be the case for the following steps of the season.
Since May, for example, have you seen a development in him physically, mentally, psychologically?
If you experience the Premier League like we are doing now, I think you can learn every time. So it's the case. Our teammates are probably better this season. Our opponents are better this season. And if you are still consistent, you are playing many games, I think you learn every day. That's all.
Régis, en français pour Canal+, un mot sur l'ambiance de ce soir, un stade à l'anglaise, c'est une ambiance qu'on ne connaît pas forcément en France, on les a sentis vous pousser et exploser à la fin.
Oui, enfin, les supporters ici à Sunderland, ils vivent pour le football. Donc depuis quelques temps maintenant, on a réussi à susciter des ondes positives, à la fois par la manière dont on joue. Je crois qu'on sent à la fois de l'ambition, de l'intensité, une équipe très collective. Et puis il y a surtout la volonté d'aller jusqu'au bout. Et donc quand cette connexion elle s'opère, ils peuvent nous aider. Et puis ça permet de changer un peu la dynamique des matchs. Et donc ça crée une sorte d'effet boule de neige. Et ça, on a la chance d'avoir ce type de supporters ici.
When Dan scored, he kind of flexed these muscles. Physically, looks like he's changed. Is that deliberate? Has he got his other body strength bigger to be in this division?
I think he's a big man. So not too heavy. Yeah. It's much better. And at the minute, I think he's in a good shape. So don't change anything. Yeah.
Great. Cheers, guys.
Thank you.
Well done.
Well done, couple of weeks.
I wondered what you thought at half time. You played well, but it was frustrating. And then how pleased were you to find the breakthrough and then keep scoring again?
Yeah, I was very, very, very happy half time, to be honest. The difference between half time and second half has been that we just score goals. When you don't concede nothing, and you create 4 or 5 chances, you have to be clinical. We said many times, otherwise the game is always open, anything can happen. But fortunately, then second half we score goals.
I want to ask you about Garnacho. He got 2 assists as well in this match. How much is he improving at the moment, and how much have you managed him as well? Because that was his first 90 minutes of the season. So.
Yeah, he arrived here from another club where he was not training 100%, so his physical condition was not good. Slowly, now it's better. He's doing very well on the ball, but he's doing very, very well off the ball, and he knows that to play with us, he has to be good on the ball and off the ball, otherwise he's not going to play, and we are very happy with him in this moment.
We'll go to Dom.
Enzo, Liam Delap made his first start since suffering his injury against Fulham. He was also the first player that you brought off. What did you make of his performance, and what was behind the decision to put Pedro Neto as the striker rather than João Pedro? So what did you make of Delap?
Yeah, no, Liam performance was not easy for many reasons. First of all, because it's long time without play minutes. Second, because they had 11 players almost at the age, so there is no space for Liam in behind. Liam is a 9 that he needs space. He needs to attack in behind, he needs to fight, he needs duels, these kind of things. But against him that they are low block, for him it's a bit more difficult because there is no space that he can attack. And then the reason why we put we put Pedro as a 9 is because João Pedro was not completely fit to continue to press in the way we were pressing with Liam. So the idea was to put Pedro and continue to be aggressive with Pedro.
Go to Simon.
Enzo, how surprised were you that Malo scored? Has it been the subject around the training ground, and has it been the talk post-match as well?
Finally. Yeah. Last year was Cuckoo scoring goal as a fullback. Hopefully this season can be Malo. But Malo arrive always inside the box when he's playing in the way we play tonight. He missed some goals, he missed some chances, but was an important goal also because give us the 1-0 that opened a little bit the game.
Go to Matt.
So a data company this week valued Esteval over 100 million already and made him the most valuable teenager after Lamine Yamal in world football. Did you see that, and what do you make of it?
Yeah, you can see that absolutely. His top is talent. Again, we are trying to help him to adapt and to give him the right minutes, and he's doing fantastic. And he will be for this club. He will be in the next 5-10 years. I don't know. He will be top player.
Part of your job has been to try to stop a little bit some of the hype and excitement to help him.
Yeah.
That's impossible, surely.
Yeah.
Tonight when he does makes an impact every time. It makes it impossible, doesn't it?
Absolutely, yes. I said already twice that the reason why fans pay tickets is because they want to see players like Estevao, like Cole, because people, they are happy when they are inside the pitch. The only difference is that Estevao arrived from Brazil. He needs a little bit to adapt, and slowly for sure it's going to start game for us in the future.
Go to Peter. Just to pick up on that, the crowd when you came on, even just conceiving being ready to come on, just there was a noticeable lift in the ground. And obviously in the first half and reviews at half time. Is it useful to have a player like that for you when you're facing this kind of game?
Yeah, but we understand. You know, when you play against, I was very worried before this game because these are the worst games. These are tricky games because everyone is thinking that it's going to be easy, blah 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 blah, and then it's 1 second, and so I can understand that first half. You know, people was not happy probably because we didn't score. I don't think because of the performance, to be honest. And then when Estevao was inside, the energy race is because people loves, you know, that kind of player. So we are happy that he can help the team and also the fans. They can be happy.
And then we'll finish with Jacob.
Just to check, it seemed like Moy had a bit of a knock at the start of the game. Seems to be limping through it a little bit. Was he okay? Is he just not 100% at the moment?
Yeah, no, he was okay. He was okay. Just a kick first half in his knee, but he finished the game. I asked him after the game. He was okay. Pedro Neto and Enzo, they are both. They ask for change because Pedro for the groin, the problem, and Enzo for the knee. So we need to see how they are now.
Okay, we'll end it there.
Thank you.
Everyone.
Thank you.
How you doing?
Obviously not being with the result, were you reasonably happy with the performance for at least the first half?
I felt we had a foothold in the game because we defended well. We were well structured. We were hard to beat, and obviously 0-0 at half time is away from home here is okay. What we probably didn't do in the first half is be clinical enough in our counter attacks and reliable enough in our build up. But we defended well and we worked hard and we were connected and the plan was working. The second half, the first goal changes things, of course, and I felt then we became more open, which made us better with the ball, but made us more open. The back door was open, if you like, and they took full advantage of that.
Just looking ahead after this game, Middlesbrough have made it public that Rob Edwards is talking towards about taking over. If it does end up being him, how do you sum up the job that he's got to do and what the squad that he'll be taking on?
It's obviously a tough job because the boys are at the bottom of the league. What I would say to him is, if it is him, that the boys are together, the boys are working hard, the boys want to work on the training pitch. There's not little cliques, etc. They're very, very together, and that's a good place to start. Yes, there's work to do. Yes, we've got to improve, but there's a lot of games left this season, and our season. I just said to the boys, your season's not going to be defined by Chelsea away. You've got to pick points up in the big games, and I think if they work as hard as that, and obviously add some quality to the play at times, they can pick points up and go up the league.
Just one more for me. Selection, Phil Lopez didn't make the squad. Obviously the club paid a fair bit of money for him in the summer. Was that a difficult call for you?
Yeah, it was a difficult call. I felt that, like the Hudders, I was going to do this for 1 week. I take the under-21s at the club on a day-to-day basis. I think we've got 3 or 4 players in that group who are highly talented boys, and I felt if and they happened to play around about Phil Lopez's position, so having too many of that type of player on the bench probably wasn't the right call, and I felt it was right for me to give Mane and Tawanda that place on the bench tonight, because if I don't do that, what does that say about our academy? I work for our academy, and I want our academy players to progress. They are terrific players, as is fair, and I'm sure the new manager will make his decision when he comes in. But I felt that was my opportunity to give our boys a chance, our academy boys a chance, and that's why I did it.
Anyone else? No. Great. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Trailing at half time, but second half everything went for you. What's your thoughts? I say everything went for you. You made it.
Not everything, I wouldn't say. Probably not going to get drawn into that. I thought first that we edged it. The game a half of a few chances. I thought we looked the more likely, controlled good parts of it. Transition obviously cost us a little bit, where we became a little bit disjointed. They took the opportunity well, clearly. But I thought second half we were very, very good. We hit really high levels in every phase of the game, whatever it was, with the ball, without it, the bits in between, and set pieces, clearly.
What was your take on those two penalty incidents? Not dissimilar, what was your take on the first one and the second one?
Yeah, I've purposely not looked at them back, to be honest, because I don't want it to be the main thing I discussed today. I don't think it's been the main reason why the game has been decided. Some people might disagree with that. I think on the balance of play, we have to get one of them. Would be my opinion from 50, 60 yards away, and from what the rest of the staff have discussed with me after the game. The officials have a difficult task on their hands, clearly. All the challenges, all the bits and pieces. There's a lot going on in the games, and clearly they were two key moments and decisions that needed to be made.
And even at 1-0 down, going into the second half, you guys never... It seems as if you're preying on fragility that exists with Newcastle a little bit. You always believed you could get back into the game and probably go on and win the game. Was that belief always there? And in part, was that based on Newcastle's away records, stretching back to April?
No, it's based on us, really. Really calm at half time. Wanted to just tweak a couple of aspects where I felt we could improve. A bit more calmness in possession in certain areas of the pitch rather than forcing passes, and I think we did that really well. Controlled transitions again pretty well, probably up until ironically Newcastle went down to 10 men, where it became a little bit ragged and disjointed. We couldn't quite get a grip of that, but I just have real belief in what we can produce, and I didn't want us to panic, didn't want us to chase the game. I felt it would or could come by doing the right things, and I think we maintained that.
A lot of things went against you. You must be very pleased with how the players kept going, didn't get frustrated, but believed in what they're trying to do, and didn't let negatives get down.
Yeah, I think what you're alluding to is true. I think there's definitely a sense of certain things not going for us, and I think sometimes you can use that as an excuse to not perform and let it get the better of you. And I've been in that position, obviously, on the pitch. I don't think I always dealt with it particularly well on the pitch, and I try and deal with it better off the pitch. I think our players actually deal with it really, really well. They stuck at it, stuck to the task, and just they were relentless, really, in terms of getting back level and then going for the winning goals.
What pleased you most about the performance? Because there's so many positives, the solidity, the continuing creativity, the set pieces, obviously another goal from a throw-in.
Yeah, so much, really. I think the selflessness of the team. I think if you look at the attacking players, I've just mentioned this in the dressing room, all attackers want to attack. It's just pretty obvious because they play in that position. They want to do things with the ball, whether it's attacking crosses, dribbling, shooting, whatever it is. But I think if you look at our attacking players, there's a real selflessness around how they defend, how they recover back, how they do the basics of the game that are absolutely needed. And I think the other aspect around being selfless is the squad, the subs coming in, having a real impact, which they have throughout the time I've been in charge, where they've been not sulking. I know people will be unhappy not to play. I mention it quite frequently, but I think that the impact they have is so crucial. And again, today they made a big influence in the game.
We've spoken a lot about Igor Thiago already this season, but again, great calmness, another penalty put away, second match running. But also only early Haaland now.
Yeah, and a long time to wait to take the penalty, clearly, which isn't easy. I think it was 5.5 minutes, someone just mentioned to me, which is a long time to have to wait. Whether that's right or not, I'm not quite sure. But he's he's just in a great vein of form, playing full of confidence, huge personality. Clearly, I think everybody can see that. Loving life, loving football, and long may it continue.
Keith, have you ever seen a throw-in taker as good as Michael Coyote before?
Probably not. No, well, I certainly haven't worked with one as good. Yeah, he's pretty special. I think he gets a lot of headlines clearly for that. I think if you take that away, he's still a fantastic footballer. The way he approaches the game, the way he likes to defend, has real pride in that, and the constant development in his game. Really keen to learn day to day, week to week basis, which ties into what we do at the club. But the long throw is pretty special. Yeah.
Does he practice it a lot during the week, or is it just somebody's got he doesn't really practice that much?
No, we practice all phases of play, and Michael's obviously pretty prevalent in that phase of the game, so he practices pretty frequently. Yeah.
Did you lose the thread of the game around the penalty like I did? When you were in the dugout, it kind of lost its kind of momentum. It's just, I mean, it must be difficult even for a coach to keep up with it, I would have thought.
What can you elaborate? What do you mean?
Well, just the game up until when the penalty was awarded. Well, apart from the first, the diving booking as well, the game kind of was railroaded with goal coaching. It must be difficult even for a coach to keep up with the thread of 4 Newcastle subs at one point, changing the goalkeeper. Your job is to try and counter that. Was it difficult?
Yeah, just wanted to keep I didn't want the momentum to come out of the game because I felt we were on top. So that was probably the big thing I wanted to try and get across to the players. You do get moments then to get a little bit of information onto some players to be able to just tweak things right side. I wanted Michael Coyote to stay a little bit lower, to leave Dango a bit higher, more 1v1 scenarios. Thought that worked pretty well. Yeah, I think you just need to stay in the game and stay focused. Staff are obviously looking at it through a different lens as well and feeding back little tidbits that may help things. But I thought the players stayed really focused during those moments that you're talking about.
Have you got a deputy long throw taker?
Got about 5, yeah. Yeah. So your first time? No. Yeah, we've got quite a few. Kevin Schade, Matty Jensen, Ethan Pinnock. We've got a little squad of them.
Were you given any clarification from the officials over the first penalty shout and the goalkeeper diving? Because VAR, the replays show it was a penalty, so it was a bit confusing.
Yeah, like I said, I haven't seen it back, but no, I haven't. I've said this before on a few contentious issues. I don't really want to be the type of head coach that really criticises the officials, because I just don't think it's right. It's a difficult job at the best of times. But yeah, I think from what I'm hearing, it's probably a penalty. But no, I haven't had any explanation around it now.
It was on your home form. I think it's only 1 defeat, and that was to Man City. What do you put that down to, and yeah, how crucial is that to be so good at home?
Yeah, we want it to be a place where it's pretty uncomfortable for the opposition to come. The performances overall have been of a really, really high standard. It's obviously really important in terms of what we want to achieve and how we take steps forward. So yeah, I think performances inevitably, they're pretty consistent. They will bring the results, and I think we've had that in pretty much most of the games, and I think the confidence has been growing from that. The boys turn up, the fans are engaged, they're really making connections with some of the newer players and the new team, which it is. It's just a feel-good factor clearly at home.
Okay.
Thank
you
you
very much, everybody.
See ya.
Because you've taken the lead twice now, and it's 7 games away from home, but you can't seem to build on that.
Yeah, very disappointing that we did get ourselves in a really good position again, and we weren't able to really capitalise on that. I think it's always going to be a really tough game today. It was always going to be, a real physical game with how they play, and we needed to stand up to that. I thought we did in the first half and defended their set plays really well. But one moment really of switching off and a couple of mistakes in the build up to their first goal, and we paid the price. And then of course we needed a big reaction to that goal really, and we didn't get it. And very frustrating end to the game.
Where do you think the problems are sort of coming from?
kind of pressure, or what do you put your finger on?
Yeah, well, my initial feeling after that game today is different to West Ham. I think West Ham was a different kind of game today. I thought the players were there. I thought they were present. I thought they gave everything to the game physically. But I think it was clear for me, if you watch Newcastle regularly, we were lacking in confidence today. There was a lot of technical mistakes, which is really unlike us, especially in the middle of the pitch where we're usually really fluent. And that contributed then to putting us under pressure. So I think different feeling to West Ham, different emotions. I think it's really important today that I support the players. And we know we're good players. We know we've got a really good team. But we just need to stay grouped together in this difficult period.
You knew who was going to be the throw-ins, the Bob and the throw-ins. Did the players execute what they've been asked to do in training?
Well, we did for the majority, but the majority is not enough because it's one mistake and invariably going to get punished. So I thought we stood up to that test very well at times, but yeah, not for the first goal, of course, and ultimately that did change the game.
Eddie, everyone was hoping for reaction, lessons learned from last week. Why didn't that happen today? Is it simply down to confidence, or is it something more?
I think it's multi-factored. I don't think there's one thing. Confidence will now be an issue for sure because I think they're honest players, really good people. They care, they want to do well. But the team's taken a few hits, and I think that showed today. So we've got enough experience to respond in the right way. We've got enough experience to have been there before and then know how to deal with this moment. We know we're going to get criticised. We expect that. I don't see that being a problem for us as long as we stick together and we're really unified in this difficult period.
Just on the criticism, when Brentford were applying the pressure, they grabbed an equaliser, you had a let-off with the penalty. Why did it take until the second penalty and the red card before the changes finally came about?
In what sense?
In terms of Dan Burn sent off, penalty given away, and then the substitutions happened.
Yeah, I mean, of course we're discussing that as the game's going on, but those moments obviously impact everything because with hindsight you then go, well, you could have done something before that moment. But with Dan's height being pivotal from the set plays and with Joelinton going off, we then suddenly would have become very small. So they're big calls to make, and yeah, of course with hindsight you possibly make a different decision. But of course in that moment I have to weigh up what I'm doing.
Eddie, Eddie, just on Nick Voldemort, and this isn't a criticism, but has his style impacted you, especially away from home, more than you would ever have realised, given that I think you scored with your only shot on target today, it was Nick's first touch in the box at the time. Is his style his preferred area where he probably hits the pitch? Is that really impacting you away from home?
I don't think it's just on Nick, and I think that's, my job is to protect him, and I think he's had a great start to his career here. Yeah, I think we haven't helped him be as effective as he can be, especially today. I thought it was a difficult game for him. Difficult again in the respect that he's the only fit centre forward we have, so again more pressure and more weight on his shoulders. When possibly I'd like to have made a different decision for him, but yeah, it's more like the team has to do better. We have to do better in helping him and supporting him. He's giving everything currently, and he's given everything since he's been. He's had to take that weight on his shoulders on his own. It's not been easy. But of course we need to look at also how we're performing away from home, and if there's changes to be made, then we need to make them.
Eddie, what was the mood like in the dressing room at full time there? Are any of the experienced players speaking up and simply saying, look, this isn't good enough right now?
Yeah, we've got an experienced team, and yeah, but occasionally those players may speak. But I think it was important for me to speak, and it always is important for me to speak and give my message to the team. In times of adversity and difficulty, I think is when your true character is tested and when your true character is revealed. And I think we need to be very calm, but we need to be measured, and we need to be reflective, and we need to then come out of this period with a way forward and a way that we're going to be successful away from home and at home, and get some more points.
And what would your message to supporters be who are perhaps looking at this away form and are concerned about where the Premier League season might be going?
My message is that we know it's not good enough, and I take full responsibility for that, and the work to putting that right starts now, and that's all that I can do in this moment.
Any update on the injuries, Anthony Gordon as well as Joelinton, Nick Pope,
Nick Pope suffered concussion, and that's why we took him off. As soon as we were made aware of that, then he was withdrawn. Joelinton, I'm not sure, it looked like a knock, but I haven't had a full discussion or debrief from the medical team on him. Anthony, yeah, is a minor injury, so he'll miss England. I think that's it.
And is it a good thing to have the international break coming up now after a couple of results in the league like that, or would you have preferred to have the players still together?
Yeah, I think I'd have preferred another game quite quickly, but maybe the period of reflection and the period to allow us to reset is a good thing. We will work hard during the break. And I think the biggest thing is to make sure we stay together and we're motivated for what's to come.
Chris and then Kieran to wrap up, please.
Eddie, last year you obviously had the low of coming here and losing that game, and then afterwards was sort of a reshuffling the sides, Andrew Tonali moved to number 6. Do you see that there needs to be a fundamental reset away from home in terms of how you approach those games, or was it not as simple as that?
Well, if there is a reshuffle, it needs to be done in the right way. It needs to be done with analysis and then detailed thought as to how the team's going to go forward. And I'm not adverse to that. I mean, look, never going to do the same thing continually, and we haven't done and expect a different result. I don't think that's right. So if there is changes, we'll look at it, and we'll try and figure out what those changes need to be.
You mentioned losing the lead at West Ham last week, then yesterday. I think you've lost three times in the last 5. You've taken the lead in a game, you've lost them. I think it was the previous 56 before that. Where do you think that issue has come from?
I think it's probably associated with our lack of goals, really. I think there's, going 1-0 up today, you'd expect us to capitalise on that and establish ourselves as a stronger team in the game. I don't think we did. I think we became weaker in the game for the goal, which was the same at West Ham. So that's a big frustration for me. I want my teams to attack and to be continually looking to score. We don't look like that team currently. So that's why I said earlier, we have issues to fix. There's no doubt about that. And the process for that starts now.
Kieran?
Yeah, I can't sort of give you a satisfactory answer to that, because it's not satisfactory, the fact that we haven't done our jobs and we feel we've let everybody down. I think when you do that, when you make mistakes, it's not intentional from anyone, and all you can do is hold your hands up and go, right, okay, let's try and fix it, and that's what we're going to try and do. Yeah, absolutely. It's the wrong end of the table for us, but it is what it is. That's the reality. And we can't change it. All we can do is affect our next performances to try and change it. And we knew potentially the start of the season would be slightly choppy for us as we entered into a transitional period with the team. But there's no excuses for us. As I say, we take full accountability for what we're delivering, and only we can change it.
Thanks very much, everyone.
Yeah, he won't go with England. Yeah, it's 12 days, I think. Thank you.
Thanks very much.
They were in every aspect of football better the first half. I would say like last season. So I saw a lot of similarities between last season and this season, with one main difference in that after we struggled last season in the first 25 minutes a lot, we scored a set piece. And that changed the game. They kept on outplaying us for 90 minutes, but it did help us to get some energy to keep defending well. Last season they didn't create that many chances. I think today they created more, but it wasn't that they had chance after chance after chance. But this time they were much more effective with the chances they had. So first goal, I don't think that's a big chance. I think that's also quality. Third goal, it's not a big chance, but it's quality. Second goal, set piece. Of course, everyone is disappointed. So it was a very good start of the week, winning Villa, winning Real Madrid. But if you thought you already faced two strong opponents, then Man City comes across you. Away, also at the Etihad, that is for every team difficult, including us. And they were
they were by far the much better side in the first half.
Patrice?
I've never said that. Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah. In my last remark, yeah, that's true. Yeah. I would like to emphasize on the fact that being 2-0 down at halftime was a fair reflection of how the game went. But I've been on the opposite side, that my team was much better than the other team. We were 1-0 up and then maybe not scoring the second one, and then the other team gets the set pieces 1-1, and then all of a sudden things change. So this can happen in football. It's not to say for me that it was a clear and obvious for me that it was a wrong decision that this goal was not allowed. But that doesn't, I will not say that because of that we've lost the game, because after 1-1, if City just kept on playing like they did, then we would have struggled in the second half as well. But I constantly felt if we are managing to keep maybe 1-0 down till halftime, we can maybe adjust a few things, which was definitely necessary because we were constantly coming one or two players short in the midfield because Doku and O'Reilly gave us a lot of problems with the two of them. So yeah, then 1-1 would have been the biggest gift we could get at halftime, and because in my opinion the second half was a different game. But being 2-0 down and later 3-0 down, that maybe doesn't give a good reflection of how things would have went if it would have been 1-1.
Beth?
Yeah, that's true. But it's also easy for players to win their duels if the game plan, if the tactics are working, and I think that's what it did against Villa, as what it did against Madrid. But we struggled now a lot with them bringing so much players into the center of the pitch, and it was difficult for some of our players then to make the right decision. So I think it wasn't about my players not wanting to make the duel. They had to run a lot because they were so much better on the ball than us. They were a few times then too late, so I would first and foremost then always look to the game plan and of us and them, and not blame my players at all, because in the second half when we were doing better, I think you could also see that they were able to win much more duels, and then we were more than a few times able to win the ball, which did not result in a goal from us, but yeah, in that period of time, I think in the second half we definitely deserved the goal.
Richard?
Yeah, it feels there's too many. And the last thing I should speak about now is the title race. We should first focus on getting result after result after result, before we can even think about that. And the reality is that we are 7th now, if I'm correct, 7th or 8th, something like this. One team is quite far ahead, although City is maybe 4 points, I think, yeah, away from Arsenal. The rest is quite close, and I've said last season many times, even after when we were leading in the beginning, and the best way to judge the league table is of course after 38, but the next best thing to judge it is after 19 games, because then you all faced the same opponents. And our first focus should be on getting results in, and the last thing we should focus on is on the title race, which is something we could do last season. But also not the previous 2 seasons before. But we need to improve, and that's obvious.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. So I don't want to betray myself, I would say, and I love when, I'm sorry, we take the ball and we pass it. That's why we press high to regain the ball as quick. And I like to see my team associated together in the short passes and combination. And after the guys who have the ability to run or have 1-against-1 is what you have to do. So first half was really, really good, defensively and offensively. Of course, the threat from more and behind always is the dangers. We have experience with that. The second half is the football. Always we talk about, I said in the flash interviews, always we talk about the duels, the duels. And everybody in our mindset is the duels, that I win the ball to you defensively. But what is about the duels when I have the ball and I don't lose the ball? What happened, I have the ball and being pressed and I keep the ball and make an extra pass. We talk a lot these 2-3 days about that, about the duels. What happened in the second half, in the first 5-10 minutes, we were alone, you lose the ball. And when that's happened, the game always is more difficult. And I think all the players in the middle, with Jeremy, with Ryan, Cherkis, it was more difficult for Ryan because the space was more in the left side, not in the right side today for the way they defend. But Bernie, Nico, and all back four, but especially Bernie, Nico, and Phil, they were outstanding and keep in and do it there. And really pleased for the game. Just thank you for the players, staff to give me that incredible present, to win the most important opponent that we face in that our time here, 10 years, so by far. And have been nice playing against them and see Virgil and Robertson and all the players that most alive have been 1,000 million battles, and hopefully will be more and more doing it against them, because has been so special. And I think Pep Linders, my assistant right now, represent a little bit Jurgen, because I've been there. So I've been a special night with my kids here, so they're really good.
Jordan?
Well, I have been a nightmare, Salah, for many years. Always punish us and his speed, and it's a top. And Nick always said, yeah, you have to be enough aggressive, have to be. Otherwise, and being helped, I think every time Mo had the ball, have a 1 or 2, 3 players close, central defenders. And Jeremy's and Bernardo's and Fields were close there to don't lead 1-against-1. So it was an incredible work, team battles, and defensively was really, really good, especially in the first half. So, but Nico make us stay back, because at the end you have to prove against the best wingers how you behave, how you perform, and there is no better example to do. Face Salah and handle it really good. Sorry? Yeah. I go with national team because Thomas is smart enough to see what he's playing. He's not been selected with just Man City, because he figured out he can help, and he had many good attributes, but this aggressivity, intensity in the duels that didn't have, because it was number 8 to 10 in the academy, always is number 8 to 10, and play in that position and give us stutter in the set pieces. Is aggressive, is top. So in that term, this. Yeah, I'm so pleased the way he's performing.
Paul?
With Jeremy, we've always known he's obviously a very skillful player with a lot of attributes, but sometimes he lacks that kind of final product. Why do you think he's sort of taken that to the next level this season?
I think never will be a top scorer, to be honest. But he's demanding himself to be better. He listens, and having a special attribute, he dribbles. So today, Connor, the right back from Liverpool, I'm really impressed. Pep Linders told me 1,000 incredible good things about that guy, so he can do everything. I know the game against Madrid, how good with Vinicius. Vinicius is wow, right? So, and he handled it. So it was aggressive without the ball, and we tried to help him. Listen, he played an outstanding game.
James?
Does rebuilding this team the way you have, does that give you a renewed sense of energy, even so long in management?
I said many times, not because we won when we lost in Aston Villa, we lost in the beginning of the season. I have the team have a good vibe. I don't tell me why. And the reason why, look the bench today, and even Kusa was not selected. So last season could not do that. So we lost energy with the players where I feel. I think the 4 players in a row affect us in a bad way, really, really bad way. We were not like I think this team has shown for many, many years. In one team, I would say, can be understandable a little bit. We tried to push each other, but we were not able to do it. Even with that, we finished third. When normally in that situation, in Premier League, you finish 10th. So at the end, we never give up. In the first 50, 20 games, we were the best team in the Premier League. But since I think New York World Cup in the United States, I felt something differently that what happened last season in general. And last season was not one reason. It was everyone was involved, everyone, and me the first, and that's why. So people compete and try to feel that it's getting better. And I said last day, so in October, November, you don't win the Premier League. The teams win the Premier League is when every month the team is growing. And you see the feeling the team grows and grows and grows, you arrive at the end fighting for the title. It's not the team who is in September, October in the top. It has to grow. Can be top, has to be better and better. And always we won't have been like that. Always in the process, we talk a lot, we training not much, but how do you play? And there's the feeling that we are in that way. So, and it's been nice. I still had the feeling that we are back in terms of many, many things. I didn't like the second half against Bournemouth. I didn't like the second half against Liverpool. I didn't like at all the last 30, 20 minutes, half an hour against BFAW. Really, really not like in the first half. So, okay, this is the point they have to grow, as a team. But, yeah, it was an important week, this one, with Bournemouth that they came in second in the table, BFAW is always dangerous in Champions League, and Liverpool, we're going to say it, and we did a fantastic week for us.
Simon?
I said many times, Bernardo was struggle last season, but was there. Every single game. Exhausted. After 50, 60 minutes, could not run 1 minute. In certain moments said, Pep, I'm drained. My mind is not anymore. It's the feet. I don't know, I was there. I was there. And I said many times to the players and to him, that will not be forgotten. When everything is fine and everything is ready. No. Last season. And Gundo was there. And many players was there. And that's why he's my captain. Because in the bad moments proved that being agree and disagree, we will disagree sometimes. Pep, we should do that, it's fine. It's fine, we talk. But have been incredible sign for us. And in the way we play today is a master. The tempo, the wonder ball, the accelerate, the intuition, what is the spaces to be pressed or not, how manage the situations and many things. He's one of the most cleverest players I ever met in my period as a manager and these years.
Rob and James, please.
You talk about teams having to grow into a title race. You mentioned it on Friday as well. But with Arsenal dropping points yesterday, the result today, the manner in which you've done it, I feel like it's a little bit of a statement, possibly.
Listen, I'm pretty sure when Arsenal at the end was equalized from Sunderland, it can happen because I'm not surprised beyond what Sunderland is doing, in the way he's doing. I think Liverpool are and myself say, oh wow, they draw points finally. They concede 2 goals because in that moment that they run, I said that will not happen. But at the end, we have to do it. And I said to the players, guys, don't do it because yesterday Arsenal didn't win. We have to do it to believe ourselves. We play against the champions in England. The last ones, we play against them. We have to show them that we are able to be there with them, all this season. And today, I think we proved it. We did it, especially in the first half.
James.
When you talk about that sort of loss of energy last season from the players, which is probably understandable after all that success, do you put yourself in that bracket as well? You look now like,
when I said,
you look like you've got all of that energy and hunger and
Yeah, but when I said the players, I didn't say the players. I said all of us, me the first. I said last season many times. I tried desperately to do it anything, but I was not able to make a click to the team, to react, to do it. You know, and one of my mistakes was now I realize I went the last season to we are injured, we are tired, or don't train much, less energy. It's completely opposite. We are not good enough first team players. Academy, come up, run. We didn't bring the energy. When we come back with energy, with the players, some players come back, and after we do it. So always we played football with the ball. Obviously, it's clear the way we decide to play when I arrive here. But we're in a team that run incredible. You know, in the pressing and go and jam and backwards, and we have been an example. Otherwise, you don't win in modern football. You know, and why I understand the players, why one or two players don't have to run and 8-9 players have to run. Why these 9 players have to run for 1 or 2 players don't run? No, in that team, everyone has to do the incredible effort. And after with the ball, we see what happened. And last season, for many reasons, we were not able to do it. But it was a good lesson. Sometimes you have to leave that as a club. For the club itself, was good. I said many times to my chairmen and CEOs and the one I said, guys, we survived last season, qualified for the Champions League. Yeah, that is a big prize. One of the seasons I will remember the most, like one of the more proud I am last season, for sure, happened. But even for the club, it's good to realize the people 4 premiers in a row, we won finally Champions League, 18 titles, and but then all the records belong to us. This business is so difficult, and you can talk. It's difficult. We are so good. Everyone think about that. We are so good. No. This game you are here, and here you are down, but down, and you now lift decades to come back. That's why it was good for everyone, and of course the club said, okay, we have to rejuvenate. We are the youngest squad right now. I had in my period here the youngest squad. We bought in the international transfer window in winter players, and not because we need that energy back. I need players that want to make a career here. And we need Cherkis, we need Ryan Norris, we need, Omar Mamouche, we need Nick O'Reilly. We need all this energy to try to emulate what the predecessors have done. It's a normal process. And the club understood that, and everyone in the beginning was, what happened that season? That's a good sign. It's a good sign.
Was it good for you in a way, was it good for you yourself to go there? Because all your experience really before success, do you feel that in a way you've had a lift and an extra sort of resurgence?
No, but absolutely. Last season said, what happened with Man City? It's not winning. In the end of the season, going to win again the Premier League. It's going for being given. And I said, no, guys, it's not about that. What we have done is winning, we are continue. And 1 year, we got that. But the energy, I had the feeling is back, and we can play in different ways now. I think we are more unpredictable, I would say, in the way we attack, in the way we defend. That is good for us, and not good for, when the opponents don't know maybe what we are going to do. But especially is the good energy that we have during the games. Look, Brentford, we won there 0-1, then beat Newcastle. Brentford beat United, draw against Chelsea. It's so tired. Look, Sunderland, my God. I spoke with Unai Emery after when we lost. I said, they draw 0-0 with 10 men there. I said to the players, guys, this is a huge result, because it's difficult. And as much always Man City, since I'm here, always we take care of that. Take care of that, how difficult is everything, how complicated it is. Go to FA Cup, Carabao Cup, in Championship game, League One, it's difficult. And that's why we won 4 Carabaos in a row, semi-finals 2 or 3 in a row, finals again, and because we give, and last season didn't happen. Last season we didn't have this. From my point of view, for the success we had, we didn't handle it quite well last season, because apparently we didn't have another target to fight. 4 players in a row, nobody had done it. Not even 80s, 19s, Liverpool's, United's, never doing it. We did it. And what's next? And after, why was a lot of injuries last season, and this season we don't have? Hopefully we don't have. The season, when you are not there, you get injured. When you are focused, and you want to win, and you want to be ready, Johan Cruyff told me, If you are ready, you don't get injured. Don't tell me why. And, part of that is why is the same methodology, the same training session, the same physios, some doctors, the same physio trainers. You are in 1 year, you are not injured, and next season everyone is injured. Why? It's because you are not there. I was not there. But it's good, a good experience to learn.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.